So does it make sense to buy a house in the GTA in 2024? Now, of course, I'm not a realtor. I'm just a guy who doesn't own property yet that thinks about this stuff a lot, thinks about personal finance a lot, thinks about where can I get the best bang for my buck, best value for my money. I'm not saying that, buying a house in the GTA is you're not going to make money on appreciation over a long period of time. I'm not saying that. What I am talking about is the affordability of buying a house in the GTA. Does it make sense? So today I was talking to a friend of mine just about doing the numbers a little bit on, buying a property in the GTA. I mean, your mortgage is probably going to start at $5,000 minimum, right? I'm talking about a detached house, not a townhouse or a condo. I'm talking today, 2024. We're in August. So buying a detached house in the GTA. So by GTA, I'm going all the way out to Oshawa, all the way west to wherever, I don't know, an hour and a half away from Toronto, an hour and a half away from the core. And does it make sense to buy? So let's just say your mortgage is only $4,000 on your house because, you put a lot of money down, I guess, on your house. In this scenario, let's just say there's two people, a couple living together. They make $100,000 after taxes and after, say they contribute to a pension plan. All in, their take-home pay at the end of the day is $100,000, meaning every single month they take home $8,333. It sounds great for 10 years ago. It sounds great 5 years ago. Now, today, is it actually enough money to afford to buy a house? I don't know what your idea is before, if you're watching this and you don't own property and you're thinking about buying property. I don't know what your idea is in terms of how much of your take-home pay you expect to put towards your housing, because housing is our biggest fixed expense that we have. I myself, I don't want to own a house for the appreciation of the property. I want to own a house more so for the ability to control my largest expense. If the numbers make sense in the GTA, then I would do it. If my income is high enough for it to make sense, I'll do it. Not if, when. But yeah, so anyway, so $8,333. So let's just say your mortgage is $4,000. Let's say property taxes, utilities, all that good stuff, another $1,000, you're at $5,000. Now, what about maintenance, a reserve fund for maintenance, any maintenance and repairs that you will have to make on your house? I don't want to be dipping into my emergency fund. I don't want to be dipping into credit or a line of credit or anything like that for anything that goes wrong with my house. I want to be responsible, so I am going to put away $1,000 a month and budget for that on top. I don't know if that's too little, if that's too much. Any realtors, feel free to chime in here. I just pulled that number out of thin air, $1,000 a month for maintenance and repairs on my detached house that I'm hypothetically buying. So now we're at $4,000 mortgage, $1,000 property taxes and utilities, and then $1,000 for a reserve fund in case of any maintenance and repairs that will happen in the future. So we can keep building that reserve fund so that it won't be a financial stressor when you have to spend money on stuff like that. You're at $6,000 now. $6,000 divided by $8,333 is about 72%. So 72% of your take-home pay is going to your house. You have about $2,300 left over. You got to eat, so let's just say you put $500 towards groceries and stuff. It's only going to keep going up, but let's say $500. So now you're at $6,500 in expenses. You probably have a car loan, right? You probably have a car loan, car insurance. That's another, almost $1,000. So I mean, you're left with like maybe $800, $1,000. Say you save $1,000 a month. What are you doing with that money? Like, do you want to go on vacation? Like, is that enough for you to live on? And all your eggs are now in one basket. You cannot invest in the stock market. You cannot invest for retirement. You cannot do any of those things. But don't worry, you're going to get appreciation on your property. But again, also, the most important thing is I cannot aggressively pay down the principal on my mortgage now because all I have left is $1,000 after everything. There's probably other expenses that I'm not thinking about that people will have, right? But yeah, it just got me thinking, is it actually worth it to buy a property in the GTA versus obviously you hear the, renting, you're throwing away your money, blah, 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 you might as well, whatever. But is it actually worth it to buy? Why not invest your money in the stock market, in an index ETF? If you're high enough income and it actually makes sense and you can put in less than 30% of your take-home pay and cover your housing costs, for sure, go for it. You know what I mean? But when majority of your money is tied into your house, it's tough because if interest rates go up in the future again, say 10, 15 years from now or whatever, and you have your house, obviously you have your property appreciation. You're probably like, okay, well, I can use my HELOC and pull out equity and pay interest, deal with that at that point. But like, people tell the idea of a principal residence as if like you're building all this appreciation, but you're not. No one really factors in what they've paid over time, just kind of educate yourself and arm yourself when you're making the biggest purchase of your life. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be putting 60% plus of your take home pay into a house. What about if something goes wrong and you haven't built up the appreciation in like maybe 2 years, something goes wrong and you need money and you have no cash flow. Now you're going into debt, but it's okay because you own a house, right? But like, is it really worth it? Does it really make sense? If you need a house that badly, if you want a house that badly, like, why not move further away instead of financially stressing yourself? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Just my thoughts today on just the cost of living and buying a house in Toronto.